Welcome back. If your family is considering finding a caregiver for your loved one, you're not alone. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, over 5 million Americans receive support from care services such as home health agencies, adult daycare service centers, and residential care communities. LaDawn Whiteside and Deby McNally are still with us to discuss the ins and outs of finding the right caregiver and how to pay for that care. Welcome back, ladies. So before we get into the cost of hiring a caregiver, which I'm really interested to talk about, can we talk a little bit more about finding the right person for your loved one, and what happens if the person you found doesn't actually click with your loved one? What do you do?
It's difficult, I think, to make friends in that capacity. So you're going to have people that come in as caregivers that may or may not click with your particular family or your loved one or yourself, whatever that is. So you have to make a decision about, is it better to keep that person and provide some extra training to make the match fit, or is it better to hire another individual, go through the same process again? And a little bit of that depends on your own feelings about that caregiver, but part of that needs to come from the person they're taking care of, so your loved one. Are they comfortable with that individual? If they're not, then start exploring the process of hiring an additional or a new person. And you'll have to decide what the risk is. Do you want to phase that person out slowly over time and adding a new person in? Or do you just want to terminate the caregiving at that very moment in time? So don't believe that one caregiver will stay with you forever. You have to be prepared to introduce more and more people into the caregiving.
Makes sense. One size doesn't fit all always, right? So let's talk about elder abuse real quickly. We need to hit on that. So can you tell us if that's a risk and concern?
Yes, that can be. I think with any caregiver, abuse can happen, whether it's burnout or verbal abuse. And so it can happen with any caregiver. So it's good to keep an eye on things. Look for bruising under clothing, stay connected, visit with the one who's being cared for. LaDawn, do you have?
Well, unfortunately, the statistics demonstrate that more abuse happens in the home than it does in institutional settings or places that you might take someone. We have this hesitation or this worry that abuse is happening in healthcare facilities, which it does happen, but the truth of the matter is, based on the law enforcement statistics, there is more abuse committed in the home setting than anywhere else. And part of that has to do with less supervision. If you're living in a nursing home, there's a lot of people around. There's lots of people watching each other. When you're in the home setting, there's not a lot of supervision. So you want to make sure that the person that you hire is going to be taking care of your person the way you want them to. So I guess the important thing, as Deb said, is to look for signs, do extra supervision, make sure that you have used the due diligence resources that are available to you, and don't hesitate to report and ask questions. If you suspect or concerned or you're not clicking with that caregiver and you're starting to worry, be sure to report.
Okay. Cost, what are we talking about roughly in terms of cost?
For cost, it's approximately $125 a day for full care, and it may be less if it's part-time. So that can really add up over time.
Any financial options for folks to get help paying for in-home care?
Yeah, there are several options out there. Medicare, you'd want to look and see if your loved one qualifies for Medicare home health, and you would just go to medicare.gov for that. If they have an Advantage plan, which is not original Medicare, you could check with your agent or call 1-800-MEDICARE to find that out. So Medicaid, which is the state level assistance, has several options, and I really feel like people should explore Medicaid because you never know what services you might qualify for. There's Medicaid home and community-based services that help folks stay in their home and provides long-term care assistance. There is PCA services, personal care assistance. There's a self-direct program where you can hire your own caregiver and and be the boss and trainer. And then another agency is just the bank. They're the fiscal folks.
Sure.
So there's a lot of options out there. And then you could also look at, go to eldacare, I think it's .gov,
Okay.
to look at, for some resources. You can look at a benefits checkup, which will tell you what it's a national program and a great screening tool that will let you know what your loved one is eligible for, and even offset some costs.
Excellent.
So it's a great program. A reverse mortgage could also be an option for folks.
Okay.
So
Good options then.
keep your options open.
Just have a few, in a few sentences before we get close to time being out, but I want to know some other options real quickly for folks if they wouldn't qualify for one of those. Are there other resources out there?
So I would suggest to call the Area 4 Agency on Aging or your senior center, because they really know all these resources and can walk you through it. There are many online tools like the ADRC website, an online resource, and a lot of the Area Agency on Agings have senior resource guides.
Okay.
So sometimes your local Area 4 Agency on or our agency, the Area 4 Agency on Aging, has resources that maybe are not on the larger online resources.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. Our time has gone by very quickly today. I want to thank you for all of the great information that both of you have provided, and I know we'll have a bunch of this listed, on the screen so people can access. So thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining us as well today. We hope we'll see you again next week. Until then, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.